So far, our layers of data culture combine together broad access to trustworthy data for a group of data literate people. How those people communicate and share information can make the difference between an organization that has a lot of data and one that does something meaningful and important with that data. How, why, and when you communicate with others about data is as important as the data itself. Let's take a closer look at how to factor communication into all of your data projects. We've all probably wanted to run a project quietly without a lot of interference to avoid excessive input and conflict. Amen. But the benefits of open and transparent communication far outweigh the ease of going at it alone. Open communication helps clarify project benefits for the organization and for individual team members. By involving team members in the planning process, you greatly increase your odds that they will remain committed to the project. This is the most effective if you help people see that the project plan is feasible, especially if you are trying something new or attempting to change people's tried and true ways of doing things. Be sure to start with a small, manageable project where you can clearly demonstrate results. How many times have you heard, oh, just email so and so? They'll be able to get that for you. Sometimes gatekeepers are simply a holdover of an organization that's not been able to put proper access and workflow mechanisms in place. This isn't always a result of organizational values per se, but pulling out of the daily operational needs to focus on information flow can be challenging. That said, this kind of behavior can also be a sign of a culture that allows information hoarding and turf defending instead of valuing transparency. This is a difficult phenomenon to counteract, but you can start by being transparent about your own plans, projects, and results. If you're not sure who to loop in or for which reasons, hang in there. We're going to cover that in more detail towards the end of this course. People are more likely to collaborate and work toward a common good when they don't feel threatened and know that they share common values. While often confused with sympathy or being aware of another person's feeling, true empathy is the act of putting yourself in their shoes to understand why they think, feel, and act the way they do. Say you do have an information hoarder in your organization. It would be easy to feel frustrated by their behavior and even possibly think they are intentionally making your job harder. But if you look into their role and what they're tasked with doing and what motivates them, you might find a different story. It's actually entirely possible that this person really likes being the one that people have to come to for certain information because it makes them feel valued and a necessary part of the team. Ultimately, empathy is about valuing other people as human beings with thoughts, beliefs, and emotions that are just as valuable and important as yours. We can see this happening in government today. Now, when the city of Topeka Deputy IT Director Sherry Shonover was trying to gain support for a new open data portal focused on the city's budget, she knew she had a wide and varied set of stakeholders to convince: city managers, department directors, the city council, and even the media. Instead of trying to gain consensus with traditional project plans and long documents, she and her team created a pilot dataset from the 2015 budget, which is traditionally a 200-page budget book. Wow. Shonover and team recategorized the old 200-page budget book by the public's priority budget searched interest, such as public safety and infrastructure. Choosing this first data set was a strategic move. First of all, city leaders had already approved the 2015 budget, and it was publicly available, so it was familiar information. Secondly, this particular dataset allowed Schoonover's team to demonstrate how existing information inherently remained the same, but could be accessed in a much better way. Schoonover then showed the pilot to city manager and department directors and moved on to the city council. During the presentation to council, She made sure to showcase how Topeka's open budget solution automatically calculated department or program budgets funded from multiple sources, so council members would no longer have to do that manually. It was a hit with all those groups, but she had one more hurdle left: Topeka citizens and the media outlets. So for this stage, Schoonover decided to get creative and personal. Her team created a portal training video that showed how to drill down to budget allocations at the smallest level, then posted the video everywhere they could, from the city's YouTube page to its Facebook and Twitter feeds. And instead of announcing the upcoming open budget portal via the typical press conference or news release, she invited local TV and radio journalists into her office for a pilot show and tell. Her unique and creative approach worked. Local media coverage expressed how cool it was, and the economic development agencies started asking how they could start working together. Looping the right people in at the right time will ultimately help, not hinder, your data projects.